We've got here a 9 carat gold white wedding band that we've got to reduce in size. Currently it's a size T1/2 and we have to make it down to an R1/2. So that's 2 sizes smaller. Now we're not going to cut this and take a piece out. We're actually going to shrink it and keep all the gold in the band itself. We've also got to put a matte finish on it as well. So I'm going to show you how to do all that now. So here we are now at the wedding ring stretcher and reducer. And we're going to put this band into the reducing dies and we're going to shrink it now. So we're just going to find a hole here where the wedding band just sits slightly above the actual die itself, that will allow us to compress that in. And we shall just spin that round like that and then simply pull down the handle. Push it into the die and we'll turn it over and we'll do the same to the other side just to make sure that it's being resized evenly. Then we'll check it upon our triplet and we shall see. And we check it from both sides as well and make sure that it's the same, and that's absolutely spot on. So now back at our bench, just going to get an inside buff stick just to gently smooth out any slight marks that are inside the band. As we've only taken this down about 2 sizes, it would have marked the inside too much. It should be fine. We shall now get a flat buff stick and just buff the edges. And then where the machine that we've used to shrink it has put in slight marks, we're going to use the buff stick now to remove them. And always remember, never buff in a straight line. Always make sure you actually move the buff stick in the same contour as the ring itself, so you don't get any flat spots. And you're constantly moving the ring, constantly moving the buff stick. Now, once the buffing has been cleaned, we can now use our pendant motor with a bristle brush attached, and we can use that now just to clean the inside. That, and now we can use our polishing motor to buff the outside. Now, I'm not going to rhodium plate this ring. I don't feel there's any need for it, as we're going to be putting a texture on it as well. So it's just going to be a simple matte finish, and there are various implements you can use to put a matte finish onto a band. And the quickest and easiest one that I think is by using what's called a glass fibre pencil brush. It's simply a brush, but with strands of glass fibre right in the centre. And all we simply do is use this to rub it onto the band. That'll get rid of the polish, admittedly, but I wanted to put that polish on there to make sure that there were no deep marks or deep scratches that will show through once the texture has been applied. So don't think that by putting a texture upon a band is a quick and easy way. You've really got to finish the band to a high finish first and then put the texture on top of it. Any imperfections will show through. Literally pretend we're painting it, really. And always rub, in this particular instance, in the same direction, which is always along the band. You should be able to see the difference there between the polished section here and the matte section there. It's still fairly shiny, but it's just a slight matte finish, which is actually very popular these days with a lot of wedding bands. Of course, the matte texture never stays. It always ends up being burnished by natural wear of the band and the ring. So this sort of texture can be applied very quickly and very easily. The client comes back into the shop and says, my wedding band has lost its matte texture. And within 2 or 3 minutes, if you wanted to, you could just rub this glass fibre pencil brush over the band and the band will be back as it was.